Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the first episode of the Traitors Podcast. I am Cardamommy and I'm here with my guests.
MC.
And
And
I'm Mimi.
hi. As you
Hello.
Hello,
as
Sorry.
you can
hello.
see from our background, we're talking about the fourth season now of the Traitors. Let's just get into it. So, who were you most excited to see?
Mimi.
Oh, you want me to go first? Okay, so I did not know who was on this cast for the most part. And so got the reveal while the episode was happening, and I absolutely gasped when I saw Tiffany from Big Brother on my screen. So I'm really excited to see what she does. Monet is on fave, but I am probably most excited to see Natalie. Sorry, I had to say three people.
Who is Natalie?
Natalie's from Survivor, and I actually have never
Mm.
seen her season of Survivor, but she also was on the challenge, and I did see one season of her on the challenge, and I don't know, she just seems like such a beast and badass, great personality. So I'm really excited to see more of her this season.
Oh, that's great. How about you, MC?
Yeah, I think the two people was most excited to see were are Natalie for sure. Natalie's like really one of the top Survivor players that
Oh,
exists and
wow.
super cutthroat. Like she has definitely like thrown people under the bus, and I feel like she was the first one to speak at the round table. Um, and then the other person was Rob C. I've always listened to Rob. I've listened to a lot of different podcasts, and I think I've seen his first season of Survivor. So to see him back on the screen after like 22 years, is
Hmm.
wild. So it's cool and exciting.
Fabulous. I was most excited to see Candace. She is one of my favorite housewives. She's from the Real Housewives of Potomac. I love how much she cries. I love how dramatic she is. And I love that she's just a tiny little thing. She's like 4'9", but she's got a lot of personality. Also, she is famous for marrying a white man he's full white but like could definitely pass for black, and she's spoken about how he has a brown D. And I love that. And my favorite quote from her is referring to someone she was mad at, saying she has no scruples. um so that's Candace.
That's
Okay.
hilarious. I have never seen Desperate Housewives, and so I did not know, or I'm not Desperate Housewives, Real Housewives, and so I didn't know who Candace was. But the second we met her, I was like
Yeah,
very enamored,
She's
very
yeah.
fabulous.
enamored. Hmm.
Same, like definitely scene stealer from the jump. And I think
Yes.
when
Hmm.
she was like, it's called the Traitors, not the Faithful. Like I'm the main character. I'm
Hmm.
like, yes, you are.
Yes, yes, you
Yes.
are exactly.
Okay, well, now let's talk about the twist. What did you think about the twist, which was that this year we're going to have a secret traitor, meaning the main traitors will not have ultimate control over who they murder. They will have to choose from a short list.
I love this twist. I think that it is really interesting. I love shows where like I don't also know everything. So I like getting to be part of the mystery. I like that
Hmm.
it shakes things up a little bit, but it sounds like it's not going to be a very long-lived twist.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
I think they said that if they got away with the murder in the second episode, they'll get to have the secret traitor revealed. Is that
Hmm.
correct?
Yes.
Yes,
So I'm
Y-
hoping, yeah.
yeah,
but I
yeah.
thought
So
that they would still be the secret traitor, that they would just know who it is.
Oh, I
oh.
didn't understand that. Interesting. Well, then I still like it because I love when they mess with the traders a little bit more and make their lives a little harder.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Because the traders have a lot of like power in the game, so it's nice to like change it up a little bit. Um, but I am excited about like I hope it doesn't last too long because I think I do want to see how it all works, but I think I'm cool with a couple episodes. But knowing that they put Rob R down from the first set, I think he's like
Hmm.
on a mission to be like, who is this person? And I like that. I'm
Hmm.
glad that there's some conflict already, even though they don't know who the conflict's
Hmm.
with.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yes. I have to say, I am not the biggest fan of it because for me, it just smells a little bit of too much producer
Fair.
interference. I
Mm.
honestly initially thought they're never going to reveal this person because it's just the random producer deciding, who is not their favorite and who needs to go. And
Yes.
now I'm the okay. Am I? We haven't discussed our theories for who the secret traitor is. We'll talk about that at the end, but this just reminded me to tell you why I believe the person I believe is the secret traitor, because I think I do still think this is a little bit of the producers wanting more control, and so my suspicion is it'll be someone who they think will be easier to manipulate into choosing certain people on the list.
Oh.
Wait, that's very interesting. And I'm now convinced entirely that you're correct. And so I need to change who I think my secret traitor
Wait,
is.
who do you think it is though? I feel like I
No,
want to
no,
know now, but I just
no. We'll
want to
talk
wait.
at the end.
Okay,
People will
okay,
have to wait to hear.
okay. Okay.
Okay, so now let's talk about the challenge from the first episode. MC, do you want to start us off?
Oh, we can. I was
Sorry,
gonna
did I
jump
say
into the
second? I meant
Traitor
first
reveal.
episode.
I was gonna jump into the Traitor reveal first
Oh,
before that,
okay,
I feel
sure.
like.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can do
no,
that.
just I was just knowing that like when we found out that Candace and Lisa I was like really happy knowing that last year that they didn't
Mm,
have any housewives.
mm-hmm.
And also, I was a little disappointed to see Rob be Traitor, because I was just like, oh, this guy. Yeah, but I get, Peacock and probably feel like they want to keep that energy going from. Yep, yeah. Uh, Whenever he made that comment, being like, I'm told that I'm hard to read, by every woman I've ever dated. I'm like, this guy, man. Uh, but he seems once he's gotten the Traitor, I feel like he's been more talkative, which is like, I don't know if I enjoy it or not, but I'm like, I feel like he's like, if he was a faithful, we would not see any confessional from him because he just had nothing to say, you know?
Mm, true,
So it is what it is.
true.
I agree. I was like kind of curious about their choices for traders. I felt like this season they were like, okay, let's like not put a gamer in the turret, which
Yes,
is
thank
what
God.
originally, right. I do like it. I think it's like important to switch it up and
Yeah.
not just make this a game that it's not, right? Like the whole point is that it's gamers and non-gamers, right?
Hmm.
But that is what made me originally think the secret trader was a gamer, which you have made me second guess. But I will say again, I didn't know who Candace was, but when she got chosen, I got really excited based on all her things that she said. And also her outfit. What a perfect outfit to get chosen in as traitor. She looks so
Mhm.
innocent. She looks like she could not even be a traitor. So I really love that. I'm really excited about Lisa based on what I've heard of her personality. But I agree with Rob. I was like, the eye roll that I gave, the way I wanted to turn off the TV. I was like, now Rob is going to be on my screen so much more than I want him to be. I feel like the Traitors is obsessed with rebranding men who treat women badly, but that's a
Ooh.
conversation for another time.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Pick it up.
How about you, Kotamami, when you saw the Traitors? Like how were you feeling knowing that you have a lot more knowledge on the housewives?
Well, I was very excited. I actually thought these were all great choices. I
Mhm.
really did not like last season, and I think it is because they let gamers into the turret. And
Mhm.
this show is best when there's chaos and it's
Yeah.
fun chaos, not when if I wanted to watch Survivor, I would just watch Survivor, and I don't watch Survivor.
Exactly.
I want to watch a little bit of strategy, sure, but a lot of just like human interpersonal interaction. So I was very excited to see Candace. And even though I do not like Lisa Rinna, I was excited to see her as a traitor because, oh my goodness, if she were a faithful, I know she would not let up on them and she'd be
Mhm.
so insufferable. That's really the only reason I was excited to see her as a traitor. So I won't have to like hear her going on, and of course finding a way to target like the people of color.
Right.
I feel whatever about Rob being a traitor, but it might be another situation where they need him as a traitor because if he was a faithful, if he were a faithful, it would be another oh my gosh, who was that guy? Pilot Pete. It would be
Johnny
like another
Bananas? Oh,
no,
sorry,
I mean
sorry.
actually kind of like Johnny Bananas. Yeah, it would be another situation where everyone's just going to be like he's so convincing. He's so
Mhm.
convincing. Although
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's why they had to get rid of Johnny immediately. So yeah, so I'm very excited about this group as
Okay.
well.
Okay. Um, Going into the first challenge, I was entertained with the fact that they had to put the coffins into other people to make them up for murder rather than like one person trying to make sure they get a shield. I felt like that was entertaining and a
Yes.
nice change.
Hmm.
It was funny. A few like funny comments here and there that happened. But I know that I appreciated Natalie coming in and kind of like throwing the first strategy and making like a alliance with the other boat. But it was fun to see that. But also at the end of the episode or end of the challenge when when they were trying to th pick the last coffin to throw into, I thought it was so funny that like because they chose a housewife, it became like such a storyline of like of that choice.
Hmm.
You're right.
I agree. That was so funny. And then I thought it was so funny that Portia was like, this was so personal that they threw it into my grave and da 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 da. And it was like, Portia, like your grave was just the closest to the end. They didn't even make it in time, and you didn't even suffer. What are you complaining about?
Too funny.
I did think it was so sadistic that they made them fill in their graves afterwards. The Traitors does
I
some wild
know.
things.
I agree with that.
But it was while it was interesting to see them play strategy, I will agree with Cardamami. This is not Survivor, so Natalie maybe needs to take a little bit of a breath.
I mean, I think a lot is dictated by the traders and the traders killing Ian the first one. Obviously,
Right.
like less gamers, and if there's less gamers in it, it's not as like it's a different approach. Like
Mm.
last season was such a gamer approach, and I think it's like based on who is present in the castle. So I feel like if more people are leaving, then that will really open it up to be like, and I agree that I think chaos is what makes this show fun. And hopefully the chaos can kind of continue rolling.
Hmm. Yes. Okay, so speaking of Ian, I can start this portion. I did not know who Ian was, so his murder meant nothing to me. But you two tell me, how did you feel about Ian being murdered?
I know Ian as a Big Brother fan, so he's kind of like known as like a really amazing Big Brother player.
Mm.
And so I thought, yeah, it'll be cool to see a little bit of him in this season. I am not emotionally distraught at all that he's gone. I have no attachment to him. But I will say my first thought when I saw that they chose him, I was kind of like, I feel like targeting a gamer is a little risky because then people will think, well, the gamers aren't targeting each other, so maybe they're not in the turret, and it would point eyes towards,
Mhm.
Oh.
the non-gamers. But it did not seem to go that way. So I guess I was wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I think I appreciated knowing a little of the background between like relationships when the breakfast happened and Tiffany kind of said something and being like, oh, I know this meant a lot to him and all this stuff because I know and he won his first season, but it was highly disputed that he should have lost. And then his second
Oh.
season, he came back for All
Oh.
Stars and he was like manipulated a bit and he kind of had a bad experience and ended early. And
Oh.
he and I think with that, I think he's been really hesitant to go on reality TV again. So it was like a big like nervous moment to be like, oh, do
Oh.
people value me if I go here? So I know what the
Oh.
background to why Tiffany said that. But with all that saying,
Yeah.
like I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Ian left. I don't know if Ian was going to be giving a ton.
Mm.
And I think there's a lot of other people. I mean, beyond the fact of like, I just wish Michael was gone from this. I wish he never was here.
Same.
But but I'll have to say, but otherwise, I think it was like okay, not the worst person to be lost in the first round. Though
Okay.
I do want to say Dorinda crying coming in was like funny and unnecessary.
That was so funny.
Because it would have been so bad if Dorinda was was also gonna be murdered like first again. So I'm
I was
glad
really
for her.
hoping they would do it again.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I was really hoping they would murder her first again. It's gonna be so funny.
yeah.
I
It-
100% would say that producers would never have let that happen.
It would be so funny though,
It
but
would
you're
be so
right.
funny though. An amazing TV. Are you kidding me?
yeah, such great TV.
But it was funny, everybody clapping for her and then she cried and stuff. And I was
I
like, this is so dramatic.
I mean if we're gonna be honest, the way they ensured that Dorinda the way they ensured Dorinda wasn't going to be murdered was putting two housewives in the turret. You know? So in my
Interesting.
I feel like that's for sure. I'm like, why? Again, I know Lisa voted and like the other way against Portia, but I
We'll
think
get there,
as a
yeah.
whole, like, feel like you wouldn't expect them to be going against each other. So I feel like in my head
Hmm.
that was kind of like what's happening. But
Hmm.
anyway, that's Ian. But I want to jump into the second challenge.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, okay. Um, the second challenge, I feel like they went pretty far. Like,
Yeah,
everything aside, like that seemed like it was like a tough, like I feel like some of the most seemingly quote unquote athletic people were huffing and puffing at the end.
Mm,
And I was just like, that seemed like a really exhausting challenge.
hmm.
yeah, I was concerned about a lot of people. I'm like, y'all are gonna kill some of these like more elderly folks, making them drag someone in a throne like 3 miles down the road. Are you kidding me? Again, this is not the challenge. This is not Survivor. I thought these challenges were supposed to be, you know, more straightforward, less
Yeah.
difficult.
No. Oh my God, the first season I watched, which was second season, those challenges were wild. I think I was wondering, I think this season they so far been like easier on them.
I guess you're right because now I'm remembering another season where they made them like put their hands in like cockroaches. So
Yeah.
I'd rather drag someone to a throne, I guess.
They made them put their hand in that season. They made them put their hands in cockroaches. I think they made them like fly out of a jet or something. There were lots
Yeah.
of things that made me wonder what kind of liability waivers were signed.
Yes,
So
Yeah.
at least
Yeah.
yes, I'm concerned. I'm definitely concerned. But
But in the actual challenge, I don't know if there was like much to it, but other than the end, like I know talking about Michael and him starting the whole thing with Jam Jam, but I'm like really surprised that no one brought up the fact that Rob got a coin, chose not to sit on the throne himself, and gave it to Jam Jam at the very end. Like if he did that, he would have a guaranteed shield. So I'm just surprised no one like clocked that,
ooh,
you know? Um, but I think the fact that like Jam Jam used it and then yeah, and then Michael was like, I thought I was gonna be able to like
so
explain, and I'm
annoying.
like, you're complaining to Jam Jam when there's literally two other people sitting on the throne that you could have like you're picking him to complain to and make a
Mm-hmm.
target. So I don't know. I was just like, I'm just sick of this guy.
Agree.
Seriously, it's not about you. It's all not about you.
Mm-hmm.
So but Michael's just annoying asshole, man.
Truly. Truly. Sucks.
absolutely. I mean, we were talking about who our favorite people we were most excited about. Well, Michael was definitely the person that I was like, what? No, like, can we get him off my screen immediately? And then, of course, yeah, he immediately starts making trouble, starts targeting like this person of color. And it just made no sense. First of all, why did you think everyone was going to discuss it? What about anything that happened leading up to this made you think you were going to discuss it? When the white girls were grabbing all the shields and stuff, you didn't have anything to say. Just when Jam Jam
Mm-hmm.
goes to protect himself, he's also a target. Obviously, suddenly it's an issue. But Colton, no one had anything to say about
Mm-hmm.
Colton for some reason. No idea why. And I totally agree with you, MC. I was really confused why nobody was like, Rob, that was intensely suspicious that you just gave away a shield like that for
Yeah.
free.
Because if you think about it, last season Danielle was not perfect. We all know that. But at some point, Danielle like took her face down and
Yeah.
put someone else's face up, and they were like,
Oh
"That
my
was
gosh.
so suspicious."
So
And
Okay.
you
In
know?
fairness, Danielle did it not once, but twice in the same challenge.
Yes, yes, she did it twice. Granted, she made it to like the finale of the
She
season.
sure did.
Yeah.
So
She sure
I'm not
did.
saying it didn't, but I'm saying like there was so much talk about that like for Rob to do that. I mean, it might have been so quick that Janet didn't even want to talk about it, but I'm just surprised that that he got away with it, you know?
Yeah.
So that was interesting to me.
Kind of mommy, I
Maybe
want to hear your thoughts on Michael.
Ugh, it's 'cause Rob is attractive. He sucks. I don't even have any images of him because I didn't want his energy
yeah.
Thank you.
around me. he's, he's been terrible. Before he was terrible for like the reasons he's terrible now.
Mm.
Let me see. I don't this is gonna go on the internet, so I don't want to get demonetized. He took images of black people
Hmm.
being terminated from the earth by law
Whoa.
enforcement and would post it on his Instagram with no warning. And when Van
Wow.
Lathan of Higher Learning and other black folks told him to stop, he said he would not. They told
Hmm.
him that it was traumatizing and he said he didn't care. He went on their podcast and like went off on Van Lathan and Rachel Lindsay, who are both black people, and told them they were wrong. And then
Hmm.
anyway, he's horrible. He's been horrible for a long time. I
Yeah.
will say, in like 2016, before I knew much about him, I was on the like, oh my God, he's so funny. It's so funny that he's a man and he loves housewives. How hilarious. And
Right.
then as he spoke and I saw how comfortable he was, in particular, speaking to black housewives about them being quote
Hmm.
unquote ashy and talking about
Wow.
their body parts, I realized, oh, this is not someone who's, engaging in these things, understanding that this is not really his space, but just saying these people are
Hmm.
amazing. This is someone who's pretending to be a fan, but instead is,
Hmm.
I don't know, a weirdo and has lots of other problems.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there is other problems with people from certain countries and
Yes. Yeah.
regions. I'll say that.
Yeah. Let's definitely, I will say it felt really good for everyone to be like, you're either a traitor or a terrible faithful. We all
Yes.
hate you. So I
Yes.
was like, okay, at least this man is like widely hated. I hope that a lot of times people will play with their emotions in traitors in
Mm.
ways that I find sometimes annoying. But in this case, I hope everybody really puts their emotions first and kicks him out of there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Agreed.
I was so happy. Actually, this kind of leads us into our roundtable discussion. Should we hop into
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. This is the first
Yes,
one.
let's do it.
I was so happy to see that people were voting for him. I think
Yes.
it's not the same as the West situation, but it's similar in that it seems like people voted for him thinking he's probably not a traitor, but he's really annoying.
Right.
I need him to go anyways.
Yes. Yes. There's a completely
um
abrasive personality.
awful. And he's not even like it's not even like like at least Wes. Well, I don't know. Wes wasn't being strategic because you can't tell a bunch of people that you're better than them and then expect them to vote for you. I was trying to think of someone who's a terrible person but is at least strategic. I don't know. No one's coming to mind now, but Michael is
Right.
also not someone who's terrible but is at least, really strategic and it'll be entertaining to watch him play. He's just annoying
Yeah, I
and
completely agree.
whiny.
And
Yeah.
whiny, right? Even when they were
Yeah.
all yelling at him, you could just tell he was getting so like just like
Yeah.
flustered and upset. And I was just like, just why don't you like self, quit?
I every time I see that video of him talking and someone throws a snowball at his head, I always watch that video. And he's like, "Man, that really hurt." And the guy's like, I'm not gonna say the full thing because of monetizing purposes, but basically he's saying like, "Shut up. No
Mhm.
one wants to hear you." And I love that. And I wish someone threw a snowball at him during this roundtable. Um,
Oh, you're gonna
but
say
but
daily.
yeah, daily, honestly, every single moment. But I think it's hilarious that like I feel like if he didn't say a word, he might have gotten no votes.
Yes.
Not any
Yeah.
votes. Then
Yep.
he spoke, and within like a minute he was like, I we killed Ian, and then this goes into the conversation being like, you all heard him say the same thing that you're claiming
Mm-hmm.
Portia
Mm-hmm.
said, but
Yeah.
y'all are ignoring it? Question mark.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why do you believe this man who you've been skeptical and saying like nonsense all the time? And that's why like it really kills me when well, I guess we'll get to it too, but like when Lisa voted for Portia, I was like, seriously? Like
Mm-hmm.
why? I'm
Yeah.
confused right now, you know?
Me too. So, what was your highlight and low light of the round table? I'll start. For me, my highlight was seeing people turn against Michael and then
Mm-hmm.
Candace saying in the way I tried to say earlier that Portia sometimes gets herself into situations where she misremembers things and it's not because she's a traitor. This is just her personality to misspeak and
Yes.
misremember.
Yes. I completely agree. I literally, in that moment, I wrote, I heart Candace having Portia's back. She's just not letting her take the heat. Like, even though you could argue it doesn't benefit Candace to defend Portia because, okay, let somebody else take the heat, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
keep, eyes off of you. It felt like it was like the one respite during that round
Yeah.
table from watching Portia get attacked. Like, again, I don't know
Yeah.
Portia, so like I don't like necessarily have a ton of attachment to her, but watching Ron present his evidence, quote unquote, that pissed me off. I was just like, this is hearsay. Like, what are y'all even talking about? Like, it's so obvious she misspoke. Like, if anything, if she was a traitor, she's less likely to say something like that. And I
Yeah.
think the proof is exactly like for me, the low light is okay, Michael gets caught in the slip up, and then what? Nobody cares. You
Yes.
would rather believe that someone heard somebody else say something and that's evidence, but Michael saying it in front of the whole group is,
Mm.
oh, but that he clearly misspoke, right? Um,
Mm.
so I don't know. That's kind of my low light and highlight. But I was like, it really shored up my instant love for Candace, seeing her have Portia's back.
And
Yeah.
and I do want to just note, it's just like I think this has happened to Peppermint too in season two, I
Mm-hmm.
think, if I'm remembering
Mm-hmm.
correctly.
Yep.
And of all the times people have like quote unquote slipped up in Traitors, like I've watched Traitors Canada, like UK, like US, of like I would say like of the 40 or 50 traders that I've seen take place, only one of those traders legitimately like slipped up. Like they were the ones who slipped
Mm.
up. Of the other times
Mm-hmm.
of people who slipped up, quote unquote, they were faithful who just like said something wrong. So like like just like it's just so silly.
Yeah.
And knowing that also you have another person that did it in front of everyone else. Like everyone
Right.
else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what
Exactly.
kills me. I think my low light, I mean, I think I matched a lot what we all saying, but like my low light was I feel like Colton all episode was saying, I'm skeptical of Donna. I'm skeptical of Donna.
Yeah.
Donna, I'm skeptical of her. And he had the last vote, and I'm like, honestly, I think he might vote Donna, and he voted Portia. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
God, man, like, come on. Like, I just was like disappointed from that. And because I was hoping maybe it'll go to a tie, you know? Um, and then my highlight, I mean, I agree, honestly, the Candace stuff is probably my highlight. My other highlight, honestly, was probably Rob C saying like either you're a high level trader, Michael, or you're a terrible faithful, and
Mm-hmm.
you are not helping us at all. We need to leave. And I was like, thank you for saying that because no, you shouldn't. Either way, people should be getting you out because you're not helping us. If we're like take in general. So but anyway, it was I was glad to have the first round table. Very disappointed with the result though, and I was kind of like I had a moment though right before she said she was a faithful. I was like, is she the secret traitor?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
but then she was faithful, and I was like, okay, this is
Right.
disappointing.
I had a
Shit.
moment too where I was wondering.
Just like
Oh
a
wait,
split
wait,
second.
this makes me think of. I do just want to note that Portia was like gaslit by Candace. And because Candace was like, "Hey, Michael said we gotta pick got to throw a casket in this in one of the housewives, which he did. He said that at the very beginning. And then she was like, no, no, we can't do that. But he ended up doing that later. But she said that to Portia in the car with more there. And whenever she told that to Michael, brought it up, and Candace is like, I didn't say that. And then looked at Mo, and Mo was like, I have bad memory. And I was like, wow, how did you? And everyone's like, Portia, you're looking a little like suspicious here. And I'm like, wait, how did this happen? Like that happened. She literally said that in the car. I just thought that was
If anything, that should have been more proof of Portia's,
yeah.
character, because she misheard that situation allegedly,
Yep.
according to everyone. They should have taken that as proof, like that she did misspeak.
Truly, truly.
Unfortunately, this is actually the second time something like this has happened to Portia.
No.
The first
Oh.
time it got a housewife fired. So I don't know if you know the group Escape, or Candy Burris, but a housewife had an issue with Candy Burris, told Portia that Candy and her husband have a spaghetti dungeon in their house,
Oh.
and that they bring people down there, and that they said they wanted to bring her down there and chow down. And Portia then went and told everybody that. And then
No
and
way.
Candy got really upset, and Candy said that this is like defamation, and this could be someone could interpret this as you saying that I'm like assaulting people, and you can't make
Mhm.
those types of claims on TV. I never said I wanted to do that. And so then Portia goes back to the housewife who told her that, and the housewife's like, I didn't say that. It becomes a huge thing where like she's crying at the reunion because we're just like, no, you did. And she's like, I think someone told me that. If you've ever seen the meme of Candy going, the lies, the lies, the lies, it's actually from that moment. She sure did.
That's
The housewife,
hilarious.
his name Phaedra, she's the one who told Portia and the one who started the rumor.
Okay. No,
No way.
what is hilarious is that when I remember learning about Phaedra before season two, I heard about this story because people added this context, be like, yo, Phaedra is probably gonna be a traitor because like she's wild. And she was. So whenever I saw Portia though, and I was like, that name seems familiar, and I saw like Atlanta, and I was like, I think there's that story connected. So you saying that is funny to me right now. But
Yep.
anyway,
Oh, Portia.
too good. Um, and then
I'm curious. Oh, go ahead,
no,
MC.
you go, Mimi.
I'm curious to hear more about y'all's thoughts on Donna, but before that, I'm wondering if we should slander Ron a little bit more.
Yes, please.
Like, I
Please.
feel like he's getting off a little bit easy because we hate Michael so much.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I'm just like, Ron, like, I don't even know what to say. I'm just like, I have no respect for you. I'll never root for you. I hope you lose.
Mimi's like, I don't know what to say, but and then proceeds to like just go in.
Yeah, at first I thought, oh, what does he think? He's a lawyer. Your three pieces of evidence, first, second, third, and they're all kind of like the same thing.
Right.
And also, you brought up a fantastic point that what he's accusing Portia of is exactly what happened with Michael, but for some
Hmm.
reason, I heard him say, I think he said it to Lisa Rinna, stick with me. That
Hmm.
no, like it's Portia, even though Michael just did the same exact thing,
Right.
and Michael is also awful.
Right.
And
Right.
also, I thought it was quite interesting when Colton revealed that he is afraid of the Swifties and was
Yep.
Oh
honest
yeah,
that that's the
yeah.
reason he doesn't want to go against
Yep.
Donna. And then we
Yep.
hear Donna say that she knows Ron's a great person because he did a random show with her son, with her terrible, annoying
Hmm.
son. And
Yep.
yeah, I said it.
Well, watch
Yeah,
out, the
say it.
Swifties are gonna come for you,
We're
Katamami.
not scared. We're
Give me
not
the
scared of the
views. I'll
Swifties
take
over
them.
here.
I need the views. It's too funny.
Give me some watch hours. Come and watch this video. Yeah. And I thought, oh, okay. So Ron is not only sidling up to like, some could argue that she's the most famous person at the table because of her proximity, like sidling up to that
Mm.
person and being like, oh, I just really want to talk to you. And not
Oh.
only are you doing that, and also, anyway, I lost my train of thought because I was very annoyed by this. I was annoyed. It's one thing to say, here's what I think, here's my
Right.
evidence, I think it's you. And then, as Portia pointed out, the other person is allowed to speak in addition to you and to respond to
Exactly.
you and to defend themselves. And it felt like he was getting angry at her.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why are you getting upset? Like, I felt like he was getting upset. I'll say upset. He was
Yep.
getting upset with her for
Mm-hmm.
defending herself as if he had wanted her
Right.
to just be quiet. But then when
Yep.
Donna defended herself by kind of being rude and weird, and as somebody pointed
Mm-hmm.
out, like she's been on reality TV before, he didn't have a problem with that. I didn't
Mm.
hear him going, "Oh, Donna, shh." I didn't
Yeah.
hear him tell her to be
Right.
quiet. He
Yeah.
had no issue
Right.
with her. And then, well, we all know what happened. But then after what happened, I didn't see him go, "Oh my gosh, Portia, I'm so sorry." He was just like, "Oh,
Right.
bad." Anyways,
Right.
No, no. What he said, he was like, "Oh, I sent a beautiful woman home, I guess." And I'm like, okay,
oh yeah,
like
That's
that was. I
weird.
thought that
I'm
was
like,
condescending. I didn't like the way
yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
I
said
I
that.
thought
agree.
it was very condescending, and I was like,
That's
what are
all she
you?
is, right? Your eye
Yeah,
candy.
like literally, literally. And I feel like it's one thing to be like, hey, I have this thing, I'm gonna share at the round table, but the energy of like not allowing her to speak or discrediting her what she's saying speaking, and
Mm-hmm.
also turning to Moore and Lisa and being like, stick with me, stick with me. It's one thing to be like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sharing my knowledge, I'm gonna vote the way I vote, but it's the first round table, you don't have anything, you don't know anything. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Exactly.
And just pushing this black woman because you're like, I got her. And it's kind of like versus like, hey, because I feel like him saying that to um both Moore and Lisa definitely swayed because I thought Moore was
Yep.
gonna vote Michael. Moore was like, "You
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
just did this. You're a traitor." Like literally said that, and then he was
Mm-hmm.
like, "I voted Portia." And I was like, "What the heck?"
Hmm.
And so, but yeah, I think he was doing too much, and he was the reason Portia went home.
Yeah.
And it was just
100%.
like, and definitely was like disrespectful to like the very end after she left.
Yeah. It was wild. I only know him from he was on one episode of New Girl, and then he's been
Oh.
on random podcasts I like. But I should have known that anyone whose brand is like, I'm just a cute, cuddly, nice person. Can't be.
Right.
I should have
Right.
known.
Right.
Because I'm like, what happened to cute, cuddly Ron? Oh, only this old white lady gets it. I mean, there's no
Yeah.
problem that she's old. Only this
Sure.
white lady gets it. This white lady who pretends to be humble and then goes, I said the same thing to Paul McCartney.
I didn't catch that. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
she was like, I'm just so honored to be with all of you. And I'm kind of a little bit intimidated. And then when they go, oh, she goes, I said the same thing to Paul McCartney.
Oh
And
my God. So she
thankfully,
has a line.
some people caught it and were like, oh, name drop.
That's hilarious. She's like, she uses the same line on all the celebrities to like get
Yeah,
them to like her.
yeah. And
Yeah.
those people are good if they're on random reality TV shows with her son. So they're
Yeah.
good
Hmm.
people.
Hmm.
Interesting.
She's the one who caught, or they're the one who caught Donna, and we're like, oh, name drop.
That's
I
hilarious.
think this
Yeah,
person's
okay.
from
So
Top Chef.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
yes.
apparently the host. I'm
Yeah.
curious to know more about
Oh,
Yeah,
this
I
woman.
believe she won. I believe she won or did really well, came back and won, and then like was like so kind of good, became the host of the show.
Oh
mm,
wow.
So and from my knowledge, she's very like she was like a very competitive person on Top Chef.
mhm.
So I think there's a lot of like like I feel like she won't be considered a gamer, but she's as much of a gamer as like anyone deemed quote unquote as a gamer.
Oh,
Oh,
But we haven't heard anything from her. We haven't even had a confessional, I think, from her,
I
from
true.
don't
him.
think so either.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nope.
So, but we'll see.
Anything else that stood out to you from the roundtable?
For me, I did write a note at one point. I love Jam Jam because when Jam Jam revealed his vote, he was like, "I voted for Michael because you asked for it," and I was like, "Yes, okay, you know what? I want to see more of you."
Love that.
Kodamami, for context, Jam Jam and Carolyn won the same season of Survivor. And
Oh wow.
and they were a duo that no one took seriously but got to the end, and Jam Jam won over Carolyn. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay,
So
that is
Mhm.
interesting.
just for context, because you met Carolyn last season and everything.
That is helpful
Um,
context. Okay.
yes, yes. But James is a great character, big personality, and I think that like he yeah, I feel like he will do pretty good, but I did enjoy that moment because he's like don't play with me, Michael.
Right.
For sure. So I
Hmm.
did enjoy it too. But yeah, I don't know
That's
if we're
the
gonna feel.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Sorry, go for it.
That's the kind of gamer I like
Yeah.
because I'm okay with him being a gamer, but he clearly like has a personality outside of
Yes.
just talking about
Hmm.
strategy and was
Yes.
yeah,
Hmm.
I was like, oh, I like this person. Yeah, I don't know anything about you, but I like you. You're good TV. You're entertaining to watch, which
Yes.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
cannot unfortunately say for a lot of the gamers who get cast on this show.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, I agree. The
exactly.
personality is the key point. I'm like in my head. I don't. I think only some of the gamers know this. To me, Monet is like such a big gamer. Like
Yes.
Hmm.
Monet played Survivor for the day, like the Survivor. What's it called? For like the famous people who did it for a day. Like,
Oh,
but
really?
I feel like Monet people don't see Monet as that, but like Monet is
Mm.
like deep in like a lot of that stuff, and so I'm like
Oh,
but Monet has that personality where it's like, also, I want to hear every confessional you have, you know, and I
yes.
Right.
that's the people I want to see on my TV.
Well,
I mean, so far we're 2 episodes deep. If Monet makes it
mhm.
past the third episode, Monet will be the first
That's true. That's true.
drag artist to make it
Dang.
3 episodes in.
That's
And
hilarious.
Drag Race girls do not do well in Traitors, huh?
Yeah.
They sure don't. I did notice, oh, Monet is being quite, I mean, Monet isn't like, but Monet has personality, but I was like, okay, Monet is not talking too much. Monet's trying to
Yeah.
just keep their head under, stay underwater, stay not underwater. What am I trying to say? Keep their
I
head
know
down.
totally what you mean. Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
Monet and Bob may be besties, but Monet is very different than Bob in a way that I think will benefit her on this show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree. I
If
agree.
Very
anything,
funny.
I'm
But
a little bit worried about Candace because
yes,
she has a
Yeah.
lot of personality.
I, I I I love Candace. I want to be on my screen. But also, when you're starting Congo lines, I there's only so much that I'm like, okay, I feel like you're gonna burn bright and fast, but I hope it's long. I do hope it's long.
do
Which
you think anyone was suspicious after that?
Yes, that one guy. I don't remember his
Rob, right?
name.
Rob. I think Rob was
Oh, that's Rob
Rob
C.
C.
yeah,
Rob
Rob
C. I think
C.
he was a little suspicious, but I wasn't sure because he was saying it like to her face, so it
Well,
made me think.
Well, that was
I
the
don't know.
interesting part because he was saying it. He said, "Oh yeah, who started the Congo line?" She's like, "I did." He was like, "Oh," and the conversation kind of stopped. Um, but also, Candace has been like super. A lot of the housewives have wanted to partner with Rob actually, which has been interesting to see. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Mm.
I don't. I think out of the, it was interesting that was the way that they did because they sometimes it feels so easy that they're gonna get it, but it did feel like the kitchen was hard to get to. So. I'm
Yeah.
glad they got it, but I was kind of upset that they made the decision. I know they had to do time-wise, but without Candace. Like Candace was the one who
Yes.
distracted and she didn't get a
Yeah.
say. And I think that sucks for her, you know?
I hope that saves her because I was worried when Rob C was, specifically saying, look out for anyone who's doing anything unusual and then the camera
Hmm.
pans to her doing
Yeah.
the conga line.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, not looking good.
I'm hoping it'll almost be an alibi where people, she could say I was with all of you. When would I have done this? I'm hoping if
Yes,
if you know
Yeah.
if
yes.
her name comes up, she'll be able to use that to her advantage.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Who
Same.
do y'all think Lisa and Rob did throw in the fire?
Ooh, let me see.
The
Remind me of the
four were
options.
Monet. It was Monet, Rob C,
Oh
Tara, and
my
Kristen.
god, it better not be Monet. It
It
better
was
not be
Monet. Like, sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm not watching anymore.
Yeah, I honestly just don't want Monet or Obsi. The person I want is Kara. Is it Kara or Tara? Um,
I'm not
Oh, Tara
sure.
Lipinski.
yes,
Oh,
She and
Tara.
this is
Johnny Weir
the
are
figure skater.
besties though, but
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
but I do think my gut says it's Rob C, honestly.
Hmm.
But I hope
Hmm.
that because I feel like I just feel like Monet was being very playful with Rob, like carry me, Rob, like XYZ. So I feel like why would Rob want to get Monet out, but I'm really
Mm,
that's because I'm hoping Monet stays, you know.
hmm
But I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be Rob C, but I'm not positive.
Oh, I
I was leaning that it would be one of the other two, Tara or Kristen, just because I thought maybe they would have the idea of, okay, we did a gamer last week, we should switch it up. But if they keep the gamer stuff going, then yeah, Rob C is done for him.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that would be okay. So I guess if they want to, I mean, I can't remember which one of you said it, but it would throw them off the scent if they did not choose a gamer. Because yeah,
Hmm.
it sounds like now if they want them to think, okay, it's definitely, I mean, there are no gamers there though. So it would, I guess it wouldn't be to their benefit. It would be to their benefit to get rid of someone who is suspicious, but then it
Hmm.
would definitely mean that people would say, okay, so it's definitely not a gamer.
Yeah.
However, people might also argue that, traditionally, unfortunately, the gamers have gone after their fellow traitors
That's
Yeah, yeah,
true.
yeah.
and have gone after, anybody and everybody. So there isn't that same loyalty that you would see with the housewives. I feel like the housewives are the only group of people who they could say, okay, none of them have been murdered or all of them have been murdered. Therefore, there
Hmm.
is or is not a housewife who is a traitor. Um, Kristen would be probably a safer choice because she's
Mm,
clearly really smart.
Hmm.
It like could definitely suss them out, but does not have the same, alliances that the other folks
Hmm.
who are up for elimination have. However, the people who chose were Lisa and Rob.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. That's the
yeah.
concern. I really
mhm,
don't like that Candace wasn't involved. I was like,
yeah,
I don't
Yeah.
trust these
because
people. They're gonna choose Monet. Like,
I was just
I
about to say that both of them would have zero issue
I
eliminating
right.
do feel
Monet.
like what I'm trying to hold on to is like if knowing 3 episodes dropped, knowing that they knew who's going to be out immediately, I was like, and I think about like Ian didn't really get a lot of screen time. Portia got screen time, but you can't not give Portia screen time. I feel like because Portia like is
Hmm.
like a good energy, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
the Kristen and Tara have not gotten any screen time, so I'm wondering if that means that they're going to be out because they're going to be out so quick. But but I feel like Rob C and Monet have gotten screen time, but I don't know. I'm like I don't know. You can read it either
Mm.
way, but I think that's just something I'm thinking about. Of like sometimes I feel like people who are out early in traders like they barely got screen time because they were out so quick. So but I don't know. In the end, I still think it's Rob C, but I'm analyzing what it could be. You know?
When you said that Tara hasn't gotten screen time, I just remembered Tara was the person who sat down in front of Rob and Lisa when they were pretending to
Oh,
play chess and actually talking about who to
Oh,
murder.
that's
that's good. Yeah, that's
right.
So
right.
it would be the smartest of them to just get rid of her.
Yeah, 100%. Because do you think she heard them?
I don't think she heard them, but it could come
Okay.
up, down the line if either of them gets their name called, then she could say, "Hey, I remember this moment where I sat down and you both immediately like started sounding really suspicious. You kind of stopped
Hmm.
talking, and
Hmm.
then I was trying to listen as you were playing chess, and the things you were saying didn't make any sense, so it made me wonder. And then you weren't around during the conga line."
Right.
All right, I guess she wouldn't be able to say that if she's well. Yeah, they keep her around. Oh, okay. That makes me now think they would be smartest of them to just nip that in the bud immediately and just get rid
Right.
of her.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a good point.
Mm.
Dang.
We'll see next time on the Traitors.
Yeah, right.
So, okay, now then, the question is, who are your guesses? Oh, you know
Oh.
what? Wait a minute. They might have made, okay, you may be correct that the secret traitor twist is going to end because I just realized we've so far received 7 names, which means that neither of those 7 people could be the secret traitor, right?
That's a very good point because what benefit would the secret trader have to doing that? So yeah, I guess you're
Yeah,
right.
that's
I
a
don't
good
remember
point.
what the names are. So that's Rob, Mark, Ian, Eric, Monet, Rob C,
That was
Tara,
fast for
and
someone who didn't
Kristen.
remember.
I did have it written down. I'm looking at my notes.
And
Okay.
and I feel like that is interesting because I'm thinking about the people who were up for elimination in the first round, who didn't get it. Like obviously, like Donna was up in the nine, but she, whoever the secret trader is, not gonna put their name on it. So that's interesting. That is an interesting thing to note. But wait, I want to hear, Karamami. Who do you think the traitor is? The
Well, no,
secret traitor is.
that's why I was trying to now do process of elimination. At
Oh.
first, I actually was thinking Donna. I don't
Yeah,
trust her.
I can see that.
But now, I realized, okay, we have a bunch of names so far now. So by process of elimination, the only people left are Johnny, Kristen, Mora, Michael,
Mm.
Ron. Who are the other people left? I feel like I'm missing someone. Johnny, Kristen. Oh,
Natalie, Colton,
oh yeah,
Mora. Did you say Mora? You
I
did.
did. Colton's another one.
Oh, Jam Jam.
Jam Jam. That's it,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Mm.
between Johnny, Kristen, Mora, Michael, Ron, Natalie, Colton, and Jam Jam. Okay, so now it's time to reveal my actually this lines up. The person's name who I wrote is actually someone on the list of the possibilities. I think it's Colton because Colton was a bachelor and the bachelor franchise is notorious for only wanting to pick leads who they think will be easily manipulated by the producers so that they can get the season they want. They've Former producers
Mm.
and former contestants have spoken openly about how producers don't force them to do anything and things aren't scripted. However, they will manipulate you a lot and they will say, but don't you think this person looked really good? But don't you think you and this person could have something? But don't you think that
Wow.
person does seem kind of shady? And they've openly spoken about how the producers are manipulative. So that way
Hmm.
they can say, no, we're not forcing it. They chose out of their own free will. And Colton, well, actually, I should just ask, do either of you have background into who Colton is?
No, this is very helpful for me.
Well,
Yeah, I've heard a tiny bit, but not a ton.
so the unproblematic part is that Colton was the first bachelor who was a virgin, and he is
Oh,
now out and is now like an out gay man. The problematic part is that he basically terrorized this woman, Cassie, who he decided to choose. She tried to leave the competition, and then he literally jumped over a fence to chase her as
oh
she
my
said she wanted
God.
to leave the competition. And then after she was crying and clearly felt and looked very uncomfortable accepting the proposal, but accepted it. And then he put a GPS on her car and proceeded
Wow.
to like stalk her while they were together. And then he had an issue with Rachel Lindsay of the first Black Bachelorette and a lawyer for saying, like, yeah,
Wow.
that's not cool. And he like went off on her for basically saying, like, yeah, that's not cool that you're like harassing her this way. And then when she tried to break up with him, it was the same thing. So he was awful to this woman prior to coming out. Then he comes out. And
Wow.
I personally feel like after he came out, it was like all of that just got wiped away. And
As if it's like a clean slate or
yeah,
something.
and I felt like in this like weird twisted way, people were trying to make it seem like, oh, well, that explains it. But I'm like, no, that doesn't explain that behavior.
Yeah,
His like
that
sexual
doesn't make any
orientation has
sense.
nothing to do with treating
Right.
that woman that way and going off on
Yeah.
Rachel and using like dog whistle, like racist coded language. But I think he has had a
Hmm.
very successful rebrand because now
Yeah.
no one talks about that. And now everyone only talks about how, like, isn't it funny that you were like the bachelor and you were the quote unquote virgin
Hmm.
bachelor, but you were actually gay? Isn't that amazing? And like, I guess. Like, not really. But as a result, I do think he is probably still easily manipulated. And because he comes from the Bachelor franchise, he is not used to fighting with producers like the, housewives and other
Hmm.
people will. Like, he's not used to pushing back. He's used to just going, okay, this is what they need me to do. They need me to pick this person. They need me to do this confessional. Got it. That's my theory. And I
Wow.
I rest my case.
No,
This
I, you, what were you gonna say, Mimi?
just like that context is so helpful. And now it makes sense why Michael didn't go after Colton because of the challenge situation, because awful racist recognizes awful racist, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead,
It
MC.
I know I feel like hearing that information and thank you for that context really really makes me understand what you were saying earlier, Mimi, about like Traitors being a rebrand for some awful men who
Hmm.
like, and I feel like this is like I mean, I thought there's more than one example now, I guess, on the show. So I'm like, that's important context. It's funny you said that because I did originally think it was Colton because they had Colton like for, every time they mentioned Secret Traitor, they flashed to him between like two or three
Ooh.
other people. But I felt like it kept on coming up like
Mm.
and so I was thinking that but I mean other thoughts were Colton, uh Donna, and then Jam Jam. Actually, I put Tiffany there
Mm.
too, but I think Jam Jam. If I did like three, those are the three that I was thinking about.
Jam
Um,
Jam would be fun.
yeah, because I was
Yes.
trying to be like, would they choose another guy? But I did think that like if they chose somebody like I don't know. So I feel like those are the three I was thinking about. But now I am leaning towards Colton. Based on what you're saying.
As much as I'm starting to believe this idea about production choosing someone so then they can control the first few outs at least, okay, I'm gonna stick with who I originally thought.
Yes.
And I just feel like there has to be at least one gamer in the turret, and
Mm.
I'm going with Natalie. I think
Oh.
that Natalie might be doing what somebody was accusing Michael of doing, which was like playing really hard as a traitor. And I feel like she's doing this thing with like where she's like, I'm gonna be the most aggressive faithful ever. And while I could see her doing that based on the little I know about her personality, I also think that that's a dangerous faithful game to play. It's a ticket to getting murdered immediately. And the fact that she hasn't even been on any of the lists after saying she's going to play this aggressive game just makes me wonder if she's the one writing the list. But if she put
Yeah,
Monet on her list, that's going to make me sad.
I know. I'm like,
Yeah.
who would do that? That's the thing.
Right.
Ooh, yeah. I guess we
Donna. I
also
bet
have to
Donna
think of
would.
that.
Yeah, I know.
I bet she would too,
But
but she wasn't she on the list?
No, wait, Donna wasn't on any list, was she?
no, no, Donna was never on a list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Donna was on the nine who got a coffin in their
Great.
thing, but
Yeah.
but Donna wasn't on the final list from the Secret
The short
Trader
list.
with the short list
Yeah.
from that. So
Wait, who was?
which is
Oh,
like
first
okay, that's
row.
interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
I could
but
see Donna putting, you know what, that might be another easy way for us to figure out who the secret traitor is, who would feel comfortable putting Monet on their list.
yeah,
Yes,
right.
Because
exactly.
that
Seriously.
now Donna is back in play.
I know. Um, one context I want to share, Karamami, was that on Natalie's season,
Hmm.
there's a clip that people have seen. But Natalie's season that she won, the other side had this baseball player who's like known to say like pretty like homophobic and racist
Oh,
things. It was just
okay.
like this quote unquote celebrity at that time. And then when she learned about it at the next like challenge, she was like shouting to the team, being like, "That guy is terrible. He's racist, homophobic. Vote him
Mm,
out. Like, why are you even keeping him here?" And started a
mm,
whole argument
Hmm.
against this guy. So I
mm.
feel like she's iconic in the way of like just calls things out and tries to like say what she needs to say. Don't know how to show in this show, but a lot of people were like jokingly being like, first day sees Michael on the show, how it's gonna be. So, which is funny, but yeah. So that's why like she she kind of comes out strong, and I'm hoping that that energy. It'd be interesting to see her as a trader. If she was doing that energy as a trader, I'd be like, wow, that's like wild in a good way, in an exciting way. You know?
Okay, well, that brings us to the end of our podcast. Any other predictions for next episode? I can start. I predict that Michael will be extremely annoying.
Yes, yes. I don't know if this is a prediction, but I am manifesting that he is voted out next
Oh,
episode, that they're all
please.
just sick of him. And as he's on his way out the door, somebody will scream, "We hated you all along."
Um, I, I'm gonna keep on the same track. Like, I feel like Michael, Owan will be voted out next episode.
Mm.
That's
So,
right. Ron did play himself.
yeah,
Oh, the
so I
money has
feel
his
like
fight
that's
ready.
probably what's. I'm worried that people will be like, "Oh, Ron, you just told what your heart said." Like,
Hmm.
if that goes that route, I'm like, "So, my gosh!" But I'm just like, if you're gonna follow down this route, just you might as well commit to following Michael out too, because, like, I'm just hoping that I feel like I'm just hoping Michael will be out next episode.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much to both of you for joining me in this discussion. We covered the first two episodes. We'll find another time to cover episode three, and then we will be back for all of you to hear our fabulous thoughts. I hope you both have a beautiful night, and I hope everyone here comes back. Bye.
Good
See
night.
ya.